So in order to do that, I have to drill a tunnel that's about 3 feet wide or 4 feet wide and about 5 feet high. Now, see, I'm not a tall miner, so I can get away with a 4 foot or a 5 foot tunnel. But I don't want to move a lot of rock if I don't have to. So it's only going to be about 5 feet high. I want to get a burrow in there, you know, maybe. And a man's got to get in there and duck his head a little bit to push an ore car. Now, in order for me to advance the tunnel into the mountain, the part that I want to advance, the vertical part, is called the face of the tunnel, or the face of the drift. You know, we describe the tunnel like a human body. That's called the face. The sides are called the ribs. The top is called the back. Okay, so I want to advance the face. Now, I'm going to have to drill some holes into the rock and put some explosive in there and break the rock into pieces I can haul out. Okay? In order to do that, I'm going to use a jack, which is a 4-pound sledgehammer, and a steel. This is called a drill steel. It could also be called a drill, or it could be called, the miner just called it a steel. So a jack and a steel, and this would be called single jacking. One miner with a 4-pound jack holds the steel against the rock and strikes it. Okay? It's percussion drilling, and you'll notice that the tip is like a flathead screwdriver tip. And it's larger than the bore. It's larger than the diameter of the steel, because if I made it the same stuff, it would get stuck in there, right? So I got to make sure the hole is a little bit bigger so I can pull the steel out when I'm deep enough. So I'm going to strike the steel and turn it and strike it and turn it and strike it and turn it, strike it and turn it and strike it and turn it. Okay, that's how I'm going to drill the hole. This is called single jacking. Now, I could go a little bit faster if I had a buddy like Scott, because then he could hold the steel for me, and then he would. He's a nice guy. But then I could swing an 8-pound jack or a double jack. You see, a man can't swing an 8-pound jack with one hand for very long. So if he's single jacking, it's 4 pounds. But if I could swing an 8-pound hammer, a double jack, then we can drill a lot faster. Okay, and Scott is going to be shaking. By the way, when I turn it, that's called shaking the steel. So Scott will hold it and shake it and hold it and shake it while I'm driving. Okay, so you think I was tough on Scott, but you see, after we drill the first hole, then I'm going to take a rest and hold the steel, get my arms broken, and he's going to swing the double jack. Got it? So that's how we're going to do it. Now, we're going to have to drill about a dozen holes in that face that we're going to load with explosives before we set the charge off. And each of those holes is only going to be about 3 feet deep. And the reason for that is, if I drill the holes much deeper, when the charge goes off, it won't break the rock to the surface of the face. Okay? All right. When you break rock, it wants to break toward the free surface, which is the face. It doesn't want to break into the rock. It would just transmit the sound wave. The explosion is just a sound wave in rock. We call that a seismic wave, by the way. But that's all it is, and it won't break the rock. The rock is going to break to the free face, so I only want to drill it about 3 feet deep. And I got to drill about 12 holes before I set my charges. Okay? And by the way, each hole is going to take me about 1 hour to drill by hand. And I got to drill 12 holes before I can load them. So I want to ask you, do you know what a miner does all day? You understand? Okay? Now, at the end of my shift, at the end of the day, I'm going to work for 12 hours in there. I'm going to put our explosives in there. We're going to set those explosives off. We're going to break that rock, and then in the morning when I come to work, then we have to shovel up that broken rock into the ore car. We've advanced the tunnel 3 feet in 1 day. Okay? The ore car is we're going to push it to the mouth of the mine, to the adit, and dump it there. That's waste rock. So if you're hiking on the mountain up there, don't bother to look for gold and silver ore in those rock piles. That's all the waste rock that came from the tunnel. Okay? That's not any of the ores. There's no ore there. Okay, so I want to introduce the first song with Scott, and I'm going to let him introduce it.
Thanks, Matt. Well, Matt just told us about drilling and shaking the steel. So he asked me to come and play some music for this program today, and I'm a guitar instrumentalist. So I knew immediately that there was going to be a huge number of instrumental tunes for guitar written about mining, right? Especially about hard rock mining, not coal mining. So I'm going to play a song that was written by a fellow named Mississippi John Hurt, who was an American blues man in the late 1920s all the way through the 1960s. And he actually wrote a song called Shake That Thing, and I'm sure it must have been about hard rock mining and drilling. Matt on accompaniment here.